Welcome back to Milton Mo Junction. I just thought I'd give you an update and show you what I'm doing. I've been up to quite a lot really, I guess. I've laid some track, which is very easy with this lens track and the points especially. I've made a few adjustments to the plans because it's very difficult when you plan something out on a template or with, in my case, a program, because once you use FlexiTrack it's very difficult to get the angles and the radius right. And an added problem with O-gauge is that you need a minimum of, for most of it anyway, a minimum of 4 foot 6 inches, preferably 5 foot, and it's very difficult to get a proprietary brand that is exactly those dimensions. So when you're doing the plans, I've tried to mix and match, but it wasn't an exact science, as it were, so I've had to adapt as I've laid the track. And basically what I've done is, as you can see, this little waiting room here, that's going to be a platform there. That originally was quite a wide platform, and I was going to put the main station building, which I've got back up there, but for a couple of reasons. One is I thought, well, there'd be no access to the main station building from outside, and the other reason was, I can't remember now, but anyway, it didn't give me a lot of room on this side, I think was the real reason, and also the access into the where I wanted to have the engine sheds and well, the diesel yard. So I've expanded this radius here, and it's actually made it a little bit bigger, so that was pretty good as well. And that goes to this point here. So the main station building now will be on this wider section here. There'll be a dead end track underneath there. The main station building here, and I've got a little bridge, footbridge, that can go from one platform to the other, from here to here, but I can sort of arrange something up that end to actually give access to the station building, otherwise it's surrounded by rail. So I can figure something out using that sort of end there, whereas I couldn't really have an access to the main station building if it was here. The other thing is, you do all these angles to get round into this area here, which I wanted to have as the diesel shed, but the angles are too sharp, so I've had to well, as I said, I pushed that original track back, which gave a better angle here, but I've had to think again about this, which excuse me again, which in some ways means I'll use less points, and it also means I can cut this sort of area back a bit, which will give me more access, so I can probably cover up that hole and use that area as well. The area at the back there where that point is, that will then go into single line from the point on the left side of the point, so I just need a single line track round this bend to get to this point here. So I'm going to try and minimalise what the baseboard that I need for that, which means that I'll have easy access to it over there, and also it does mean that I might be able to utilise this area here a bit more if I need to go further for the diesel yard. So I'm just sort of planning that at the moment, and I thought I'd show you how easy this point system is. So some of you are aware, or have seen before, the ECOS system. So I'm making the track plan. So at the moment, right, as I mentioned, the laying the track's so easy that I'll just give you a quick demonstration of how easy it is to program the point. So what I need to do is this point here is going to be address 7. That's all I have to do. I've already created that point on the ECOS and it's address 7. So obviously I need now to program the point. So if I read what CV1 is, and it's already adjusted it, put the programming track to the point. I'm not explaining this very well, but it is actually a value of 1. I want it to be 7. So if I do 7 right, come out of that, now I move this, as you can hear that point is now 7. So all I need to do is put that on the track and that's programmed. Simple as that. So that is the next point to fit. The only addition I'm doing to the points is, as I mentioned I think before, this area here is the frog. It's quite a big area. It doesn't make a lot of difference to the German stuff because it's got built-in capacitors, everything, as I think I mentioned again before. But the British stuff hasn't, and it's not that big a gap actually, to be honest, for O gauge. But what all I'm doing, it has this small copper tag there. I'm wiring it up single wire to one of these frog juicers. This is actually one from Gauge Master. So 3 wires go to this, just solder up 3 wires. Oops. One from positive from the bus, one to negative. That's the 2 at the corners, and then to the frog there's just a single wire which goes from that point there to where I've already mentioned, and that's done. And so the wiring underneath is now pretty good. It's show you underneath now. It's fairly simple wiring system. At the moment along here I've just got a single buzz wire, and I've had a few droppers off it for the track, and obviously there's one of the points wired in. There's just a single wire to the point going up from there. So the whole setup is a lot easier. I'm going to have 3 sections so that it makes it easier for me to work out any faults. Not that I expect any now with this system, but as I say, it's made it all pretty simple. So basically that's all you do with the point. Continuity there might not be so good because I had a phone call, so I've had to redo this bit of video. But anyway, I've just programmed this point. It's now point 7. Once I join it up, I'll probably put a couple of droppers on the joins when I'm going to join this up here, but that'll be point 7, and it's already controlled by the ECOS. So that's as simple as that to program that point. As I say, because the controller and the point motor are all within that little piece there. And as you can see, I've taken off the lantern, and that's ready to go. Once I've plugged it in, it's wired up. What I might do is, I've now got 2 tracks obviously from that point, and it's quite a nice length going down there, so I'd like to utilise it. So what I'm thinking of, I haven't quite made my mind up yet. I might, because I've lost a lot of the area that I was going to have for the diesel shed, because as I mentioned earlier, the angles won't let me use most of it. I might use this for the the steam part, if I have any steam, or at least it would be an old steam shed, because I've got a few bits and pieces I'd like to sort of put on there. So it could be an old steam shed that's now being used for diesels, or I could use that for diesels, for steam if I buy any steam locos, and perhaps the second line could be used now for diesel fueling. And as I said, it's possibly because I can't use this as much as I wanted to. I was going to have the whole lot, similar to the 00 gauge with a lot of diesel lines, but as I found out, the angles are different, and of course once you start using points, they're so big that you use up a lot of the area. One possible thing I could do, I could at some later date put a turntable over in that corner, for instance, and then have a few lines feeding back this way off it. But I am trying to lessen the tracks, as it were, and make a little bit more room here so I can reach everything. So as I say, haven't decided what to do, but if I don't come back this way, then I can get rid of a whole chunk of this here to give me a bit more room to move around in. On another subject, I've had a bit of a tidy up around, believe it or not, around the loft. It's all out at the minute because I've been working underneath, but what I've decided to do is have the table under there as norm, my working table, that I can just pull out to give me more room. I can have a couple of, or at least one of the drawer units next to it. Some drawer units can go in under here, and it makes this area a lot more work friendly and play friendly, if you like. So I can't do a lot of that just yet because I'm busy fitting stuff underneath, but once I've finished and I don't need to get underneath so much, then I'll have a big sort out. Of course I haven't got the fiddle yard, so all this can be used for storage. What I have got is, I'll probably keep out, is empty engine boxes, because if I need to send them off for repair or painting or anything really, it's nice to have the box handy to use. Underneath there's some boxes of little wagons that I haven't even got out the boxes yet. I just bought them when I had a chance. So all this is spare space under here, so I could put some more storage that's out the way and I don't need on the two shelves. Up here underneath there's a little alcove in that corner where I can store empty boxes that I don't actually need. That's a bit crowded at the moment because I've been busy throwing some boxes up there really. Some big plastic boxes, not the engine boxes or wagon boxes. If I get rid of the O gauge lens stuff, which I probably will at some stage, that gives me another big space there, because as you can see there's a big plastic box full of lens empty boxes and they're stacked on top. So that would all go, so that would give me a bit more room. So yeah, it's getting there, and as I say, I feel a lot happy about everything. So yep, we're all ready to go, and I'll keep you informed of how I've been doing. So bye for now. Oh, and I've got to add thanks for watching, and subscribe if you wish, and also feel free to comment. Once again, bye for now.